Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. So Joe Schoen has a press conference scheduled for Wednesday at 11:45. This will be Joe Schoen's first time talking to the media as a Giants general manager. And I'm excited to see it. I'm definitely excited to see how his introduction is from John Mara, what John Mara goes over as he introduces him. Is he going to talk about, is this going to be a long-term, long lease kind of thing? Is he really going to say, I'm going to be patient with this to make sure? Is he going to kind of leave it up in the air? What is John Mara's introduction of him going to be? What stood out most in the interview? What was the most important thing that Joe Schoen said in these interviews and over these past couple of months of them talking? What did he pull away from Joe Schoen that made him so sure that he was the general manager candidate? So I'm definitely interested to see what John Mara, and hopefully we get to see what Steve Tisch says, but probably not. And I'm guessing it'll just be John Mara. So I'm interested to see what his opinion of Schoen was and why he stood out so much more than guys like Adam Peters and Ryan Poles. So I definitely am interested to see that. My next thing that I'm interested to see from Joe Schoen in his first presser is his short and long-term plans. Is he going to come out and say that, he's going to build something quickly? Is he going to come out and say that he needs to address blah, blah, blah? Is he going to say what Dave Gettleman says and we're going to fix the offensive line? Is he going to get specific like that? Or is he going to say we're going to take our time here, we're going to build something that's going to be sustained? What is his plan going to be as far as how he's going to attack the Giants? Now, of course, he's not going to give us the blueprint for what he's going to do, but he is a lot more transparent and a lot easier to talk to than Dave Gettleman. So that's something that I'm going to definitely keep my ear out for, because I believe that Joe Schoen probably will get the long leash. He probably will come out in with the plan that he's building something for the long haul, and he might not, he might just straight up tell us, it's going to take some time to get this where we want to get it, but it will get there. Kind of like how Joe Judge was saying, but Joe Judge wasn't given the time to do it, and he kind of probably needed to go when he ended up going. So is Schoen going to make this team? Is he going to, put pressure on himself to start, or is he going to really start it slower and focus on building something that's long term? Next, how does he believe a team should be built? Philosophically, how does he believe that a team should be built? Should it be built through the draft? I would think so. He would say that. But does he think that the most important positions are left tackle, right tackle? Does he have a special sort of focus towards center? Does he have a special sort of focus towards, I got to make sure that my secondary is elite and not focus as much on the pass rushers? Because the Bills secondary was really good and their pass defense was really good, but they don't have the most ferocious pass rush in the league. Does he think that linebackers are more important than maybe our general managers have for the last, 15 to 20 to 30 years almost? We have not drafted a linebacker in the first round forever. And I kind of have a feeling that Joe Schoen will do that. He had Tremaine Edmonds. He has Matt Milano. He took both of those linebackers. Now, Milano wasn't as highly ranked, but he did put together a team, or help put together a team, that has really good linebackers. So is he going to try to put that emphasis there? Is he going to continue to have these focuses on certain positions on the Bills? Or does he have a completely different philosophy for what positions are most important than Brandon Beane does? And he's going to do something that we haven't seen before. So that's what I mean as far as how should a team be built. Is the running back the most important? Is the quarterback probably going to be the most important? But what types of receivers do you think are effective? Also, how are you going to make sure that Kadarius Toney is taken care of as far as getting him in space? What kind of coach do you think is the most important? And we'll probably see more of that whenever we get, Brian Daboll or whatever coach that we hire in here. I think that those are some things we have to think about. But what is his philosophy as a team builder? Now, next up, what traits are most important. So in your offensive lineman, are the traits of being a power offensive line, are the traits of being an athletic offensive line. I know he said he wants people that can play in multiple schemes, so that means you're looking for powerful, athletic offensive linemen, which are few and far between. But what kind of lineman are you looking for? What kind of defensive lineman are you looking for? If you look at what the Bills have right now, they have a ton of tall, long-armed edge rushers. They're pretty much a 4-3 team, but even for a 4-3 team, they have a ton of tall, long-armed, big-bodied edge rushers. And is that the defensive ends or edges that he thinks are the most important, most important body types to make sure his team can be successful? How does he value Leonard Williams? How does he value a guy like Dexter Lawrence? How does he put any value on, James Bradbury? How does he look at all of these players here? So I'm interested to see what he thinks about what traits are most important, because every team has a different way of evaluation. Every team sees some teams, some players as more valuable than others. How does Joe Schoen look at things? And I think that they'll ask him, what do you look for when you're looking at an offensive lineman, or what do you look for when you're looking at this or that? So we'll probably get some of that answered. The next thing is, what does he think about guys like Daniel Jones and Saquon? Is he going to come out and immediately support Daniel Jones, like we've heard in the media of he might be someone who's behind Daniel Jones already and wants to give him a chance? Or is he going to just say, I haven't seen the tape yet? Or, is he going to just be completely dismissive and pretty much, say that Daniel Jones is going to have to compete for a job? So same thing with Saquon. How is he going to make sure that, how is he going to address this Saquon situation? Is he going to be non-committal? Is he going to say we want to build with him? What is his opinion of Saquon? Same thing for other guys like Xavier McKinney. I don't think he'll get rid of them, but what does he think of some of the other players on this team that could possibly be moved that we're not that sure about? Maybe like a guy like Sterling Shepard or James Bradbury. I don't think they'll get that specific in this presser. I think it'll mostly be about Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. And I do think we'll have some sort of an answer, not anything that gives everything away, but we'll have a sort of direction that he's leaning towards. And then the last thing I think is an underrated thing for the New York Giants general manager. How does he deal with the media? How does he deal with the media? Because Jerry Reese was a guy who did not like talking to the media. He never liked talking to the media. I don't remember Ernie Accorsi. I don't remember how he dealt with the media, but I remember Jerry Reese did not like speaking to the media. He was very short with them. He just didn't like doing it. That was his least favorite part of his job. And that's understandable. He wasn't really rude. Sometimes he would snap at him, but for the most part, he just didn't like talking to them. He didn't go into much detail. He just pretty much just gave his report and kind of got out of there. With Dave Gettleman, he kind of had this complex where he kind of talked down to the media and cracked a bunch of jokes. And it just basically became a comedy routine, because I'm guessing he didn't like the media either. And instead of being short with the media, he just kind of just played around with them and just made fun of things. And every single time Dave Gettleman came out there, it became funnier and funnier and more of a meme. And it was kind of difficult to keep Dave Gettleman in that spot, as he just was really starting to make himself look crazy. So how does Joe Schoen deal with the media? The media likes people who are honest and are forthcoming with the information, but of course you can't be too honest and too forthcoming with the information. So I think that Joe Schoen probably will give us an opportunity to get insight from the general manager about how he does things, about his processes, that don't give up too much about who he's going to draft with this pick. And I'm not saying I need to make sure that I see as much information as possible. At the end of the day, his job is to make the team better, and he doesn't want to give away trade secrets. But I do think that he'll have this opportunity to come in and be a likable person for the media, and it probably will change the way that the Giants are covered, because a ton of people in the media did not like Dave Gettleman, and they just didn't like Eli Manning. They didn't like a ton of Giants players, Giants coaches, Giants, staff, or whatever the reason. But I know they hated Dave Gettleman. So Joe Schoen will be a refreshing change from that, and it might change how the Giants are covered. But his press conference is going to be on Wednesday at 11:45. I'm not sure if I upload this video today on Monday or tomorrow on Tuesday, but this is what I'm looking for when he has this presser. You guys let me know what you're looking for, and I'm excited to see what Joe Schoen does. Like, what will his first moves be when he steps in as that new Giants general manager? If you made it this deep into the video, come on, just hit the subscribe button. I make Giants content primarily, draft content secondarily, and during the season, I'm going to be doing a lot of reacting to pretty much most of the NFL games and everything NFL. So if you made it this deep, go ahead and join the D6 squad.